Welcome, everybody, to the Sleestakians show. I'm your host, Lorenzo Sleestak. Hope my air conditioner is not making a bunch of noise. It's in the background, but I've got it turned down as far as possible. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Gygax Day. I believe it's Scary Gygax Day today, in memory of course, of the late founder of or co-founder of the Dungeons and Dragons game that we were warned about back in the 80s. So there was a big panic back then. They call it the Satanic Panic, and everything from Dungeons and Dragons to even some people thought the Smurfs were satanic. The ironic thing was that Dungeons and Dragons, even though it had some like pulp influence, it also had some influences from Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. Tolkien being a Catholic and C.S. Lewis, of course, being a member of the Church of England, Anglican, the U.S. we'd say Episcopalian. And I'd like to welcome the folks in the chat. Hello to the Head Ninja, a.k.a. Shinobi. Always pleasure to see you. And Fat Cuck, welcome. And Fat Cuck's hoping everyone is ready to bang his wife. Well, everybody's got to have hobbies, and Fat Cuck just happens to have an interesting one. And if you guys want to support that sort of activity, I'm not your dad. I'm not your priest, rabbi. You can make your own decisions on that one. And hello, Matt. Good to see you. It's Mr. Matt's longtime member of the Sleestakians show. Johnny Boy, hail. Always a pleasure. Hero Shack, always good to see Chris and Diana. Mr. Yanafui, hello to you. Always good to have someone from South America. Hi, Lion Radin, always a pleasure. Head Ninja, said hi to you earlier, but hello again. Morg's always great to see you. And Morg says he wants to play D&D with Fat Cuck's wife. That probably can be arranged. I'd contact Fat Cuck if I were you. Please like and share the stream. Get the word out. Be nice to have some co-panelists. The link is pinned in the chat. Back in the day, I used to host a radio show. Did some also was a community public access, like kind of Wayne's World style producer. They were hitting everything back then. Yeah, that was a kind of a weird thing because I guess the late 60s and the 70s where there was a whole free love thing. There was a lot of very kind of permissive activities. Not saying everybody was involved in it or necessarily most people. I'm just saying it's just like, and then it seemed like when maybe when Reagan got elected, things changed. But welcome.
Hey.
Good to see you, Shinobi.
Hang on.
As always, so the Smurfs are satanic. It's something the Jehovah's Witnesses or Watchtower. I heard some of the people from there, talk, who or you belong to that organization talk about that. I'm not sure if it was like official policy from like the up at the top of the church, or if it was like a lot of local churches, or how that church even operates. Really, I know more about some other groups. So how you doing, Shinobi?
All right. Yeah, they were hitting everything back then. I mean, even G.I. Joe got thrown under the bus. Imagine that. Hello? Hold on, let me check my sounds. Okay, can anyone in the chat hear what I'm saying? Okay, you can hear me. I can't hear Lorenzo for some reason. Oh, he dropped. Okay, I'm glad it wasn't just me. I guess I'll have to. That's not good. That is not. Oh, okay. He's okay. He says he'll be right back. Um. So, what's good, chat? I guess I'll just start drawing while he gets himself together. I need to get him. I guess in situations like this, I need to get my own stream going on. I need to set a schedule. Okay, he's having internet issues. He's trying. He's talking about a hotspot. Hey, even I don't go PP. Wait, hold on. I can't see that. Discuss David Wesky first. All D&D conversations should involve David Wesky and a pre. Okay, okay. So Lorenzo's having a problem with his laptop. It's not recognizing his Wi-Fi. Dang. Yeah, I don't know anything about. Yeah, I don't know anything about David. Hello, Ethereal. Oh, it's just me, the head ninja, also known as the shinobi. I'm just, uh, I'm just kind of talking while Lorenzo gets himself situated with his internet issues. Okay, 1968. Wesley wanted to do something different. Napoleonic games were all mixed columns, and grand batteries and units miniatures form up until then. So basically, gaming was a game of Risk. Well, have a nice dinner, Shadowhawk. Wait, where'd my pen go? Morgan's. Let's see. What if everyone plays a single character and it's. What if everyone plays a single character and it's still the Napoleonic Wars and a group of agents speaks into an enemy town with mission? RPGs were born. Well, at least we know how. Well, at least we know how the concept of tabletop RPG gaming started. Huh. Throw it out the window. You mean like those raging? You mean like those raging gamers I see on YouTube where they're playing Fortnite and whatnot, and they smash their keyboards whenever they get shot. Those are pretty sad and hilarious at the same time. Then David meets Gygax and it turns into D&D. It did not directly come from Gygax's chainmail game as was claimed. More marketing basically there. Ah. Sorry, is that not the way they fix tech issues? Probably not. Wi-Fi works in guest mode. Um. Okay. Okay. So apparently Wi-Fi works in guest mode. Not exactly sure how that's going to affect. Not exactly sure how that's going to affect StreamYard, but if he can get back. Hello, Gaylords. Okay. Hello, El Hombre. Oh boy, let's see what. Your wife is up. What happened to? All right. The crate. All right. So this is the red. Okay. So since this is great, even if I did cut out of here. All right. So. All right. So I got a bit of okay. I got a bit of an emergency to deal with, so I gotta cut out of here. I don't know how that's going to affect this stream. Not to mention, this was his plan, not mine. I don't know what he wanted to talk about, so I gotta cut out of here. It was nice talking to you. It was nice talking to you people for a very short period of time, but I gotta go.
Howdy, Mike.
Oh, hey, Lorenzo. I was wondering what was up because
Did Shinobi bail? I know I was
I
gone for a
guess
while.
because I just came in, he was talking. I was coming in basically just to say hi, and for a moment there it seemed like was this stream about to end or something like that? And if it was, I was about ready to share my link, and tell everybody that they want to come at the top of the hour to check out my show.
Yeah. Make sure to check out Mike's channel. Mike's got a lot of got a wealth of knowledge. Sorry about this, folks. I don't know what the heck's going on. For some reason, so I'm on a Chromebook, and I don't. Usually, things are pretty easy to troubleshoot, but what happened this time around was, I think after my last update, the Wi-Fi for my account isn't working. So what I had to do is sign as a guest, and that's working. But I don't know why the Wi-Fi is not working on my main account. It usually works, but then like once or twice a day, it's been going out lately, and I don't understand why. I don't know if it has anything to do with the update, or maybe somehow the permissions settings got changed.
So were you off there for a moment while the other guy was on? Were you
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, um, see, people are like, "This is crazy."
It seemed like you were talking because I could see your avatar flashing there, but I didn't hear anything for a moment there.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Raggedy Man, good to see you. Let's see. Wow, this is there were a lot of messages. Looks like.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and share my link just in case you do.
Oh yeah. They're saying, so if you got a problem, so Shinobi had said, if you have got a problem with D&D, then
and your audio just cut out again, Lorenzo. Well, I hope everybody can still hear me at least. All right, I guess I'm the only one who's here right now. Just let me get my message up here, and then I'll try to talk to you guys for a bit to keep things going until Lorenzo can give Lorenzo a few minutes to get back. So basically, I do a show Monday. Well, actually, I do a show Sunday through. I broadcast 6 nights a week here. Let's see. It's kind of hard to split your concentration here. I invite. All right, so if you guys want to at the top of the hour, whether you're still here and you want to just open a second window, or if the stream here does in fact get shut down for some reason, you can come over at 6:00. Monday through Thursday, I do a Niche Newscast where I basically go over articles and like bounding into comics and all that. I cover niche topics, or what was traditionally considered as niche. Basically anime, cartoons, comics, manga, pro wrestling, and the like. if you guys want to come check that out, and then on Fridays I do a historical comic retrospect where with a guest co-host we go over old comic books. But I started all the way back in 1935, working my way forward in time. Right now, we're looking at books that went on sale in November 1939. So if you guys want to check that out on Fridays as well, and on Sundays, I'm on Monday through Friday at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. On Sundays, I do a panel show with some of my other YouTube friends. Anyways, yeah, I know Colonel Morg. I'm just trying to get all this out before. Colonel Morg was saying Peter Cullen, who would become the voice of Optimus Prime in '84, that Troy voices Vengar in the D&D cartoon, and for Transformers, of course, we must go back to 1981 Japan in the toy line called Diaclone. Yeah. Well, Peter Cullen also did the voice. He did a few voices. In Transformers. Optimus Prime was his most famous one. He was also Ironhide and Ironhide. I think he was also in G.I. Joe. He was Airborne. Airborne in that's another voice role. And I believe he was actually the antagonist, a bad guy in Dungeons and Dragons too. I can't remember the bad guy's actual name, but if you remember the 1980s Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, he was the bad guy. He was that big, black, bat-winged, red-horned character as well. How odd. Blah, blah, blah. Which heard a vendor with Hasbro. Marvel comics, new Marvel started as yes, that's true. In the 40s, actually, it was 1939 because we've been covering that as well. Colonel Morg, Vengar. This is what it's like inside my head, guys. Let me go over and see here. So, Lorenzo, I take it you're still having problems with your Are you still having problems with the StreamYard, Lorenzo? Let's see now. Of course, since this isn't my channel, I can't highlight chats, but I can read them off. Just call me Hen. Let's see. I think I might go and write my book. I need to figure out how to when they get out of the near entrance, the princess ends up taking the poisonous berries. Let's see. Alrighty then. Yeah, we probably don't want to be talking like that. Let's see. Missed out words there, not good when I am meant to be a writer. Well, I think Lorenzo might be here somewhere. Yeah. Well, I see your avatar up now, Lorenzo. You back, or you still having issues? Okay, now I can hear.
Sorry about that. I don't know why this keeps happening. I don't know if there's something wrong with the Wi-Fi card or what the heck's going on.
Well, I've been trying to run with it as best I can for you, my friend. So, let's see the last few here. Yeah, I get up for a minute and Mike's on. Hello, Mike. Hey, Chris. Yeah, I came in just to say hi, and apparently, well, Lorenzo can probably tell you more about that. Apparently, he's been having issues.
Well,
I don't
here's
know. I don't know if that's really stuff you want to be highlighting.
this guy in the chat says that his wife can handle it. She can handle 4. That's an interesting message.
Lorenzo, you might want to go back up to his last comment before highlighting anything.
Oh, I think I know what he's talking. Yep. Hey, Grave, always good to see that your router's being hacked. That's who knows. That's a possibility. I've heard of that happening. Yeah, well, I can't control my trolls. I think they all have wrenches, or most of them.
Put them in timeout if they get a little out of hand. But
well, I went to type my apologies and apparently didn't press send. Let's see. I'm going to be looking at the YouTube chat. The StreamYard thing is it's hard for me to see the StreamYard on my laptop to begin with. Because it's a lot easier on my phone. I thought Wi-Fi routers, something or other, Australia. Liam's welcome on the channel. Hen's wondering what trolls. Because Shinobi says control your trolls, and Hen's like, what trolls? It's a good question. The Shiny Hunter, good to see you as always. Of course, Chris, always great to see you. Chris, have you had any experiences with Chromebooks since the latest update with not wanting to connect to Wi-Fi for whatever reason? Because Chris works with Chromebooks. Well, he's also knowledgeable about Apple products too. But let's see. Hen says she thinks she might go and write her book. She needs to figure out how to, when they get out of the rear entrance, the princess ends up talking to poisonous berries. What is this, a real hen? It is a real hen. Interesting. Anyway, I think I said hi to Hiregrave, as well as Chris and Hen. Thanks for joining us, Hen. And Colonel Morg was talking about D&D. Yeah. So yeah, it's Gary Gygax Day. Have you played Dungeons and Dragons, Mike?
No, I never played it. I did watch the cartoon back in the 80s.
Oh, I love the cartoon.
One of the things we were actually talking about that, I guess, kind of the connection between Transformers and D&D there. Colonel Morg and I were talking about, he had mentioned how Peter Cullen did the voice of Optimus Prime on the G1 Transformers cartoon. I was kind of reminding people, he also did Ironhide on there. He did Airborne in the G.I. Joe cartoon, and he did the bad guy in the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon as well. I don't remember the bad guy's name, mind you, but I know he did the bad guy in
It looks like. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you normally have more people in here. What happened to your regular crew, my friend?
Well, Daniel wasn't able to make it, aka Tech. So I can't. I'm not sure I can go all the way back in the chat, but Morg was giving a history of D&D. He was saying it was 1968 and Wesley wanted to do something different. Napoleonic games were all mixed columns and grand batteries and units and miniatures from up till then. And Wesley thought, and then there's the Shuttlehawk talks, Wesley thought, what if everyone plays a single character and it's still the Napoleonic Wars? And a group of agents sneaks into an enemy town with a mission. RPGs were born. So that's where role-playing games came from. I did not realize that. And then he said David Arneson knew Wesley, and not long after adapted Bronstein in a fantasy game with a castle and a dragon, and fantasy RPGs were born. So it started off with what was it, Napoleonic Wars? Is that with Napoleon? He said then Dave meets
the Napoleonic Wars were the wars from Napoleon. Yeah.
Okay. He said after that, yeah. So then Dave meets Gary Gygax, and it turns into Dungeons and Dragons. It did not directly come from Gygax's chainmail game, as was claimed. Yeah, I always thought it was from the chainmail. I think that was a game involving these little miniature figures. I had a buddy who would paint those things. He said more marketing basically there. Oh, okay. So they credited chainmail, but it sounds like it was based in these other games. Hey, Raggedy Man. He said Raggedy Man says his laptop gives him Wi-Fi troubles too. I don't understand what's going on today.
Well, it could be. Well, for all we know, it could be sunspots because sometimes sunspots will do that.
Yeah, I've been having problems with my Wi-Fi with my phone, but not as much as with my laptop. Maybe my phone gets a better connection with Wi-Fi. And Mark continues, we're up to 1972. After 2 years of playtesting, original D&D is published in 1974. Not long after Gygax and Amundsen have a falling out, and Dungeons and Dragons give way to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons in 1977. And that's what I've played. I believe I played Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, the first edition of that. But I mainly played the second edition.
All right. Well, Lorenzo, I have to go. My show is going to be starting here about 14 minutes here, so I got to go. But I think I tried the best I could during the time you were gone. So
well, I appreciate that. Thanks, and I thank Shinobi, and I'm sorry if I cause any guys problems. That is wild. I never know when it might just go off again. El Hombre asks, what is the crack? Crack being, of course, an Irish term. Yeah, he's kind of asking, like, what's up? And says the crack is Lorenzo's Wi-Fi is being a jerk.
Come check out in between everything there. So, anyways, and I did like and share your stream earlier, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Well, and once again, I encourage everybody to join well, maybe not everybody at once, but encourage folks to join the panel. Because, he said Dungeons. Check out Mike's channel.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you later, my friend.
Take care, buddy. He says it's mostly played by college kids, and Wargamer. It was mostly Dungeons and Dragons was mostly played by college kids and Wargamers until the 1980s when TSR starts mass marketing. So before Wizards of the Coast bought up the rights to Dungeons and Dragons. It used to be TSR was the company that published it for many years. There's a cartoon and toys and millions of dollars, and they end up firmly in the sight of the Satanic Panic. And that's what we started talking about at the beginning of the show, was the Satanic Panic. That's the end, chat party. Says Mr. Matt. Matt, you're welcome on here. And so is Mark. Yeah, everybody else, welcome on here. And now we're full circle back to where Lorenzo started off. Well, that's awesome. You guys just bounced. My wife always wants more, says Fat Cock. Well, that's if you're into cuckoldry, you know, maybe I'm sure that works out well for you. And hadn't like the cartoon, the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, it sounds like. Can we talk about that a bit more? Yeah, we can talk about any number of things. Check out Mike Walter's channel. He left the link in the chat. See, actually, the internet connection. I should stop by the. I should stop by and the internet service provider and see if they know what's going on with with everything, the modem and router and whatnot. Mork says the cartoon was produced for 3 seasons and made it to 28 episodes. Wow, that's not a lot. That could be just one season of like a lot of shows. Gary's son Ernie was the main consultant and got to live out in LA and party with his dad. Hookers and drugs and starlets. Oh my. So I believe Ernie's the one who's got this new TSR company, and I think there's another company that's also calling itself TSR that and yet neither and yet it's Wizards of the Coast that owns the rights, I think. Well, at least to like 5th edition. Everything 3rd edition onwards, they own the rights to. Oh, yeah, he had to. Well, I'm glad Shinobi came on. He was one of the founding members of the show. One of the founding Sleestakians. The cartoon itself was clever. It was very cleverly done. I think so. They found a way to leave out graphic violence, which is usually a key component of D&D, and it was still good and very D&D. I really like the Dungeon Master character. Those, of course, folks who played the game would, they would know that, like, also called the Game Master, especially like in games that are kind of other role-playing games. That I think Dungeon Master might be something that's Wizards of the Coast might own the rights to. I don't know, but yeah, he pretty much is almost like the god of the world, and I mean, he really controls what goes on in the game, except for, as Einstein said, God, what is it? God does not use dice, and the Dungeon Master does roll dice to add some random chance to it. But he can make certain ruling. He or she or they could make certain rulings as far as, you know, what's acceptable. Is this type of character acceptable? Let's say you want to have a custom character. And hey, Gap After Dark. Always good to see you. And check out Mr. Matt's Substack. And and here's Mike's here's Mike's link to his YouTube channel. I try my best to, if somebody's got something to promote in the chat, I do my best to get to that chat. I try to read all the chats. It's not really practical always, but I try to do so. And welcome to the show.
I'm only here for a second, so I might come back a bit later. I'm just sort of starting my day. I'm, getting all ready for the big game. But did you know that they actually, a bunch of fans came together on YouTube about a year before last and fully animated the last 2 episodes of the Dungeons and Dragons animated series that were never produced from the 1980s?
Oh, that sounds really cool. By the way, how long were you backstage?
Like 5 minutes. Or not even that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. I was using this Chromebook, and it's got a small screen. The nice thing about it is I've dropped it like a gazillion times, and
it's still.
And most of the time, it works really well. I mean,
Well,
for basic stuff, it's not ideal for streaming, but
yeah,
it's it's 2.5 pounds is all.
I just heard you talking about old D&D stuff, and I thought I'd come in and share my 2 cents, just in case anyone didn't know.
Oh, I really appreciate that.
Most of the people in here are hardcore and nerdy enough that they probably know.
Oh, yeah.
But the series was cancelled, where we never got to find out that Venja was Dungeon Master's son, and that it was the sort of the big.
So this was stuff that was edited out of the. That's interesting.
No, it just never got made. I think they got, there was 2 episodes that were never produced. They wrote them, but they were just never produced. So the fan community came together, a bunch of animators, a bunch of us, and we it was all done and put together. It's not the most amazing thing you're ever going to see, but it's a fully rendered animated episode, and it wraps up and completes the animated series. And on a sort of also a D&D related note, you're talking marketing and TSR and the shift from wargaming and all that stuff. I was looking around last night because I want to buy the animated series. I actually don't own it. I'm really surprised I don't own it.
I should buy that as well. I loved that as a kid.
My
mom didn't want me playing Dungeons and Dragons, but I watched the cartoon anyway. Like, I didn't even make the connection in my head. Like, this is like something that. Sorry to interrupt.
No, not at all. Well, Venture looks a little bit retarded. He's a little bit retarded, but Tiamat, baby. Tiamat, like, where do you go wrong with a multi-headed badass super dragon? And I loved the ranger. I loved the power bow. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was great. And the idea of going off on a Ferris wheel ride or into a fun house or whatever, and then finding yourself in an alternate world you can't escape from. That's great.
That's shown at the beginning of that's shown at the beginning of each episode, right? That's like part of the intro.
That's the intro. That's the premise. They all do a big social event instead of huddling around a gaming table. You know what I mean? They go out to work. They leave into the light of day for a good time with friends, and swept away into an isekai adventure like no other. But the thing is, like, I don't own it. And I looked it up. I went onto a couple of our major DVD sort of Blu-ray websites here in Australia, like, electronic stores. And I Googled it. I searched for it inside their stores to buy it last night, actually. And I found something very interesting. So you've got stores like Sanity, JB Hi-Fi. These are our major electronics boutiques here. And the only place you can really get DVDs anymore. Now, those guys are selling, no word of a lie, sets of, like, books. They don't even sell books, but they're selling, like, the DMG, the Player's Handbook, and the Monstrous Manual as a little set for, like, 160 Australian dollars. And they're selling, like, Boo's Astral Adventure and all sorts of other stuff. these are hardcover books in an electronics boutique. They've got Dungeons and Dragons movie posters. They've got Dungeons and Dragons action figures. Again, electronics boutiques. They've got all of this stuff. You know what they don't have? They don't have that original series on DVD. Not a sign of it. None of it. Can't get it. So I'm gonna have to get it off of eBay or something like that, I guess. But it's disappointing. One of them had the action figures for the remade action figures from the animated series that they're releasing. But yeah, that's it. That's no sign of their early marketing or the early TSR stuff or anything and of course, for those of you guys who haven't seen Honor Among Thieves, as I bring it full circle and close this out because I'm just rambling here. We had a little cameo from the cartoon characters in the movie where they were one of the adventuring parties in the labyrinth, but they had no magical items. Without their magical items, they're just a bunch of kids, so they're probably dead. Yeah, they probably died in that labyrinth, eaten by mimics and displacer beasts. It's yeah. Oh, Lorenzo's okay. Oh no, that's Shinobi. Sorry, hold on. Are you back, Lorenzo? Am I just screaming into the void here with nerdy D&D stuff no one cares about? What's happening? Oh, he's restoring his computer. So it's just me. I am the stream master. Johnny boy, how you doing? How are you doing? I've taken over. I'm here for 5 seconds and I'm in charge. I'm large and in charge. Guys, I'm so fat. Do you realize how fat I am? I put on 10 kilos. It's a lot of kilos. That's 2 more kilos than 8. It's 4 more kilos than 6. It's 5 more kilos than 5. It's 9 more kilos than 1. And it's way more kilos than I deserve to have put on or that I should have put on. It's shameful. I have to go on a diet. But instead, I've got my lovely wife. When she finishes up my massage here, as I'm currently being, prepared for the day, like a professional sports athlete. She's out there baking me a cake, She's out there baking me a cake. It's my special day. It's not my birthday. It's my cake eating day. It's every day on this day we eat a cake. But I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't today. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe today's the wrong day to eat a cake. But we all got a dream, and my dream's to be 500 pounds. I've been telling my eldest daughter that for a long time. I want to be 500 pounds. I want to be loaded into the front of the car with I want you to have to take the door off and load me in the front of the car with a forklift. We've all got our dreams. We've all got our ambitions. I wanted to be able to keep up my fitness regime with doodle bags. I saw him pushing tires and busted his ass and turned himself into a chiseled Adonis. And when I failed to do that, I thought, well, I got a different dream. I'm going to be 500 pounds. I'm going to be a 500-pound fat guy. That's what I want. Where the hell is Lorenzo? Rolled onto the street. That's right. How many stone would that be? I don't know. But here I am keeping the stream alive. I expected to pop in here for 30 seconds, Yeah, that's me. Here I am. Oh, hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm pretty sure all you guys out there already know, but Wonder Island, Lorenzo's back.
Hey.
Is he back?
Oh, I hope so, because I got on this show, because I got in here somehow.
You mean, I bet he's actually here the whole time. You son of a bitch.
No. Okay. I actually finally set up I had the hotspot going, but it was like I wasn't using it before because it looked like it was the hotspot says a strong connection. So the before then it was like a medium connection. So you were still through the same Wi-Fi. It's same router and modem. So I don't know. I might have to call my ISP and get that resolved after the show, though. Maybe tomorrow.
So Ryan Ratton says this has been the craziest stream. What have I missed? Lorenzo?
How long has this been up on the screen about Peter Cullen?
Oh, pretty
we
long
would-
time, but Peter Cullen's an important guy, so it's allowed to be.
Not
Ahoy,
to
Jack Stafford. Ahoy. That's about 11.
Yeah, he also
I'm
voiced
missing I'm missing a lot of the conversation. I'm sorry, folks. I tried to interact with the chat. This is kind of a special occasion. And I think it's because your host might be a little bit special. Hey, I'm a special kind of lizard.
How you doing, Jack?
I don't know. I'm just, I was just kind of out of it today to begin with, and then started having this internet issue, and I don't know. I've been having problems with my phone. It will go and I can use Twitter, no problem. But if I'm not in a game, the game will just will start having connection issues. So I'm thinking, I think if it's, and that's on my phone.
Sorry, guys.
If I'm playing a mobile game, I'll have connection issues.
Kitties,
But
I get.
I'll be able to use Twitter on mobile just fine. So something's going on, like with when I try to use like anything high bandwidth, I guess.
Right. So you
We're
were
gonna try to get that. We're gonna try to get that fixed. Shinobi, are you still here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was trying to talk before you rudely interrupted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
him. It was, started talking about your bandwidth. Well, the guy's he was trying to share his dreams with us, and you just stomp all over him. It's like you had something important to say. Shinobi, what were you trying to
Hey,
say?
DJ Ronnie G. No, go ahead,
I was-
Shinobi.
Yeah,
I'll be quiet again for the next 20 minutes.
Are you done? Jeez.
Yes.
Okay, so Liam, you were that was a nice little breakdown of the D&D. There was stuff in there that I didn't know anything about. And yeah, I guess you were saying something about you said something about you were talking about how the show was out of cartoon was canceled and we didn't get to see what was there was stuff that we were supposed to see that we didn't see, and you were saying what was it? Some people you and some of your peeps were doing some fan show. Was that it?
Say that again. Sorry, my lovely daughter yelled the word duck into my ear at the exact same time you said what you said. So,
Kids. So
Yeah.
when you were talking about how the show got canceled, and I guess there was something about a fan animation.
Yep.
Was that it?
Yeah, that's it. You can find it on YouTube. It's just like the last 2 episodes of the last episode or whatever. I think it's about an hour long. I can't remember. It's been a while, but it was a big fan project that people came together to do, and just to finish it up, And it was fun. It was a good time. So, but they used the actual script. You know what I mean? And they used a bit of AI, and that seems to be the way of the world these days. But this was early on. This was like a few years ago. So sort of reproduce it. It looks like an old episode of Masters of the Universe, So it's all spliced together animation from previously in the series and trace overs and stuff. But at least it got an ending, I think. I think it's cool when fans do that.
So a cheaper version of rotoscoping.
Yeah, exactly. What are you drawing here? What are you doing?
This is just I guess you could say she's kind of a D&D character I had. Whenever I play online or something, sometimes I'll have a visual of my character. So people will know what they're interacting with.
Oh yeah, so that you're clearly more important than all of these other plebs that are just having to use their imagination. You're like, this is my you're like your imagery,
Well-
and you're like, I'm a ginger and this and that. And you're like, no, this is exactly what she looks like. You got to deal with it. And like they're going like, I'm a dwarf. You know, you're like, you probably got body odor, buddy. Like
online. Well, when you're playing online, a lot of guys I've interacted with online, they'll take images they see on Google. They'll see the best thing they got was, oh, is this okay? This character looks close enough to my character to use, so I'll use it.
Yeah, and you're like, that's Peter Cullen. That's not you. That's not your hero. That's Peter Cullen. Where's your imagination? What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? You know, and it starts to fight to the table. I've heard the stories. No. So you're out there. You got your original art, and it's you're shaming them with it. I understand. I too shame others with my original art. Sorry, I'm just stirring up.
It's fine.
Cool.
It's fine. I get it.
I'm just having fun. So you're so what is she? She's a human, I'm guessing, or she red because she a tiefling? What's going on here?
Half elf.
Half elf, cool. What do you think of the new direction they're going with the half races?
I think it's kind of I think I get what they were trying to do. My issue is with my primary issue is their reasoning as to why they are doing it. It's kind of absurd. You've had this game for who knows how long, for like almost 50 years now, I guess. And it's what most people I get that not everybody play. I guess not everybody's playing a half elf, especially when they got all these especially when you have like things like the Tabaxis into the fray, and you got your Dragonborns and your and your Warforges and all of that. But some of us still like our half elves.
Yeah, well, I think that it's the greatest thing ever. I'm finally going to be able to play my dream character of half Thrycreen, half gnome. You know, like it's like going to be like playing something out of Cronenberg's The Fly. That's what my dream always was when I wanted to play fantasy D&D. You know, like I thought, you know what the world's missing? We need more half Thrycreen, half gnomes. And I figured I could sit at the gaming table and make a squealing, crackling, hissing noise and flail my arms around like a little sort of praying mantis, and it would just bring me so much joy. It would be the best, you know, because now I can half race anything. I could be half dragonborn, you know, half plasmoid slime, you know. So I'm like this slimy dragonborn. It's like, you know, no one will love me. And, you know, and for all the angsty teenagers out there, now they can finally be half Asimar, half Thrycreen, half Asimar, half Tiefling, you know? And they can finally be a devil angel man, you know? It's exactly what I think Gygax wanted. You know, it's what he imagines, his vision. Just a stew of mental diarrhea from the least creative imaginations of preteen ambition.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, chat. Let me know.
So, what was your favorite class to play?
Okay, in all seriousness, so let's see. So I've just got to get the vision of my Thrycreen gnome out of my mind. Just give me a second. My favorite class, look, it's going to be obvious. Shout it out in the chat. What is the Orange Tyrant? What is Liam's favorite class? You guys know what it is. Take a guess. We'll just let him catch up for a little bit, Shinobi, while we wait for the rounds to come back. But
it's fine.
But of course, what was your favorite class?
I've played a lot of thieves.
Thieves are cool. Especially the new D&D 1 thieves. I think that they are really, really well done. Really neat. But my favorite class, since folks have got a place to catch up. No, Felix. No. It was Bard. I love the Bard, don't I? I love the Scold. The Scold kit, they used to call it back in the day. It's like what they before they had subclasses and stuff like that, like the Storyteller, the Wishmaker, the Greeter of Dragons. I can sing Dancing in the Right Weather, even stand on my head. I know the proper way to greet a dragon in 7 words of Latin. I know how to fight dirty or fair. I am I am a luxury, not domestic, and in that sense, necessary. I love the Bard. I love the Bard. And I love my daughter. How you doing, little Al? You jumping on me? What are you doing? You happy? Happy girl. I'll have to take off real soon. But let's see. You said your favorite class was I've already forgotten because I'm a narcissist. What did you say again?
I've played a lot of Thieves.
Thieves, that was it. Yeah. What was the coolest thing you've ever stolen?
I haven't really stolen anything, but I did a lot of stealth. I did a lot of stealthing, and we had to, and I think it was an NPC with me at the time. We were raiding an orc camp, and this was a second edition Thieves. So if I remember my Thieves correctly, from that they had this was an elf thief. So they had a feature where if you took somebody with you, and they had light armor or none, they had a stealth. I had a feature where they had a bit of a stealth bonus that would boost their stealth bonus.
I'd love to be able to help, but I don't remember. But it sounds viable. I just don't remember.
Yeah, but I don't remember what it is either. It was a long time ago. But so anyway, we stealthed our way into this orc camp. We got their plans. Well, the NPC knew orc. I did not. Mm-hmm. So we got. So she's translating the plan. So once we got what they were planning, we went back to the group. I felt the stealth check. A fight broke out, and I felt my stealth check. We got back to the group in time to tell them what was going on. So I tell someone in the group, send a message back to the village we were protecting. Tell the people to just up and go, because on the off chance we fail the mission and the orcs show up and kill everybody in the village. I mean, at least my thinking was, at least if they got to the village, pillaged everything, nobody would get killed.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the orcs got through our ranks. We killed most of them. So we go back to the village, and basically the message got there in time, and nobody got killed.
Well, that's good. That's good. My only story with orcs is one time at band camp. No, we're not going. No, I had a bard. And he was rocking out with the group, and there was an army of orcs coming. They weren't coming for us; they were just sort of on a march, and we realized that we were going to be encountered with them eventually, because they were heading to basically where we were going. And so he said, I'm gonna take a shot at the orc leader. We spot him out. We could see him there. We're like, all right, I'm going to take a shot at him. And I got out my longbow, cocked it all out, pulled it back, thought, all right, here we go. Big heroic moment. And so the dungeon master cracked out a bunch of books of the old Combat and Tactics, Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition, if you remember. Sat it all out. Mm-hmm. Went over everything. All right, you're going to have -16 to hit. I said, whoa, what? What do you mean minus 16 hit? I can't hit minus 16. He's like, well, he's so far away and there's wind drift and this and that and this and that. I went, oh, wow, okay. I said, so if I make a cold shot, how much is it going to be? He's going to be, oh, yeah, minus 20 or blah, blah, blah. I said, all right. So what if I go for a really small part of his body? He went, oh, well, that'll take you down to like, I think it was like minus 24 or something. And he's like, you'll need a 20 to hit. And I said, I was going to need a 20 to hit. I was going to need a 20 to hit with that minus 16. I'm going to shoot this motherfucker in the eye from like a mile and a half away, right? And he's like, okay. And so I roll in front of everyone, and you know how these D&D stories go. Blammo, yes. Natural 20. So I shoot this motherfucking orc. He only had one eye. So I shot him in his other good eye, right? Yeah. And it was great. It was great because then later when we're doing peace negotiations, this guy was pissed. And I was like, look, we can work it all out. We can make things, we can let bygones be good bygones. We can feed your troops and do this and that. And he's like, yeah, but you shot me in the eye. And he's this blind orc. It's great. I convinced his lieutenant to betray him and kill him and take over since he was unfit to lead. That's how we got the peace negotiation.
Nice.
And it was all diplomacy. Yeah, it was like minus 24 or something to hit this motherfucker. And like I just thought, fuck it. I'll just make the best crack shot I can, and if I roll a 20, I roll a 20. It'll be great. And take a natural 20 to hit. Just call me Hen. How you doing, Hen? And the Shiny Hunter, Mr. Wheeler, Morg. Another thing I was lied about. I was told Liam liked thieves best, but I knew that guy was a liar too. Well, I mean, I do like thieves. I do like rogues. I like when people plan ahead. You know, like I'm running a D&D game right now for my friends from high school. I think the game won't last because everyone's got their life happening. You know what I mean?
You know how it is. Life gets in the way.
That's right, you know. But I wanted to give it a go. It's like, our old DM couldn't do anything. He could play, but he didn't have time to prepare. Technically, I didn't have time to prepare, but it's like, hey, I'm dying of cancer. Like, I can find 30 minutes every week. I want to like have some memories with my old high school friends again. So I put a game together, and I was hoping that it would be. It'd be a bit grittier. Like I wanted to go kind of Game of Thronesy, like old school, right. But we're using the new system. We're using all the new D&D 1 playtest stuff. and so I've set up like a battle map that is a whole forest. It's massive. It's like I set it up with the idea that the players would hire henchmen and stuff like that, and have a little crew of people and go in and clear out this wood. And or that because they're low level, they're just starting out, they'd be using some ambush and strategy like that, But no, my player character group has decided, no, we're going to take on this hobgoblin and ogre army at now level 3. With the most direct challenge that you possibly can, with we're not going to use stealth because all of us are in heavy armor. Despite the fact that I set up a whole bunch of stealth zones and stuff like that where they could move through. They're like, hey, look, there's like 14 goblins there with wolves. Let's just run at that. It's like, guys, you're not fucking superheroes. What are you doing? Like, where's your brain power? Now, of course, as the referee, I can't say anything.
Right. Yeah, those are my thoughts. It's like,
but last week,
really want to do this?
Last week, just as and feel free to cut me off at any point here. I'm just filling air till Lorenzo goes back, then I'll go off be a dad. But last week, guys, in the grand adventure of Song of Stars, which is just the filler title for the campaign, the player characters venture forth into the Sylvan Reaches, and when they get in there, they see that there's an altar, and at that altar is a hobgoblin priest to Methuselah. No, that's not his name. Morgul, no. I'm talking the goblin god. You guys know who he is. He's got, maybe you don't, he's got skin like iron, black as tar, and eyes like fire. and he subjugated the goblin races, killed their previous pantheon, and turned them into a race of warring lunatics. At least that's the way the mythology goes. And so he's sitting there praying, casting this spell. And these guys can see him at about 340 feet. They got a good, long, clear line of sight to him. Now, rather than, I don't know, taking shots at him and forcing him to take cover or anything like that, or preparing or anything like that, they wander up to this priest. I mean, literally, just stroll casually up to him, waiting for him to finish casting, doing whatever he's doing. But I've got him holding his action to cast Spirit Guardians. So when they get close, he can hit them with a bunch of wailing, gnashing, ironclad hobgoblin spirits that kill them, you know? Mm-hmm. He's just sort of sitting there in ambush. It's a blatant trap. One of the players even says, "This feels like a trap." I'm like, yeah, I didn't say the players at the time, but like, yes, it was a trap, you know. But the barbarian runs on up there, runs into melee with him. And of course, he pulls off his spell. So the barbarian gets hit with all of these spirit guardians. They wail and scream and swarm around him like an angry hurricane of death. And he's slowed down and he can barely push through it as his mind is racked with his body's racked with necrotic energy. And then I reveal that I've got like 4 ropers sitting in the trees, you know? So the ropers then just shoot their arms out, entangle the barbarian holding him there, and they take him out. They finish him off in like 3 rounds. Even though he's raging, they just hit him so many times and do so much damage over the next few rounds that the players just watch him get taken out. So he gets brought low, picked up. Those 2 of the surviving ropers just carry him off to eat him. At this point, the barbarian player throws a fucking hissy fit. He says that it was a slaughter, a massacre, he was targeted and all of this, and like, you know, I've killed my game and all this other stuff. And I'm just sitting there going like, I'm the referee. I'm impartial. The hobgoblins want to kill you. I didn't fudge any rolls. I never fudge any rolls. Your perception was not high enough. You didn't see the ambush. And none of you used ranged weapons. You got magic and ranged weapons. You got a wizard with you. You didn't think to cast sleep. You didn't do anything. And now the guy's dead. And I asked him, I was like, hey, it's time for you to make your death saves, with the idea that he would make a death save and then maybe if he rolled well, get a natural 20 and wake up and be able to fight them off and get to freedom, as they carried him deeper up into the trees to a hunting shack to, you know, in the top of the trees to eat him. And he refused. He refused to even make death saving throws. He says, no. And then throws a shit fit about it. I'm like, dude.
Good Lord.
I'm not trying to kill you, man. I'm not going out of my way. But you just ran into a fucking trap. You were outgunned and you got brought down. And he didn't get brought down straight away, man. It took him like 3 rounds to get through his fucking hit points because he was raging. He's taking half damage from their attacks, and their attacks are doing like 1d4 plus 1 or something, 1d4 plus 2. Nothing, no damage at all. But
I don't know how he thought that was going to work out any other way than it did. It's always the barbarian.
Yeah, it's the barbarian, and I felt terrible. It's like, you know, I just thought, why did you guys do that? You never know what your players are going to do. Like, they just start slowly walking towards him. I just thought, you've got bows, you've got arrows, you've got javelins, you've got spears, you've got cover. This could turn into a firefight, you know, like, but they didn't do that at all. They literally just walked into the trap. And so we had a player death. It was a sad time. But I think that player's going to quit the game. He's trying to get me to, so that like there was divine intervention and his character was saved and all that. Like, no, save up and get him resurrected with some money. It's like, you don't have the body now because, you know, you guys didn't bother to get his body, so it'll cost you even more to get him raised, and he'd like to pay for a 9th level spell. But I'm not fudging it. He was like, what level's my new character? I said, level 1. He went, oh, that's no fun for. And I was like, well, if anyone swaps their character out, I said, you're just going to have multiple characters. If anyone
Level one's the
swaps
rest
your
of the party.
character out or the character dies, you start off at level 1. I don't care what level anyone is. Like, it's the encounter that I did on that map's from 3 to 5. And, you know, you'll catch up. You'll catch up again. I'm not doing this whole communist experience bullshit. Everyone's experience is what their character earns, you know? And that upset him a bit because I think he felt like he was being left behind. But I'm a terrible GM, you know? It's terrible tyrant. It's like party loot, you know? The party did one adventure and one of my mates wasn't there like week before last because he had to beat his wife's birthday, you know?
Right.
And they were like, oh yeah, so we're gonna divide the treasure by 5. I was like, why are you doing that? And they're like, oh, for this guy. I was like, well, he's not here. It's not, you know, how are you gonna give him the money? You might never see him again. You've known him for like 30 minutes. Like, okay. Everyone just sort of expected to sort of do this weird communist thing where it's like, oh, you always give everyone a share of everything. I was like, that's nice and friendly and all, but like, you know, come on, guys. Like, if he was your friend, but you met him for 30 minutes, like, you guys, this is your first adventure, you know, like, for all you know, he took his money from last time and went and bought a farm, you know,
right?
It's like,
the worst kind of, though I have to say, the worst kind of character deaths are the ones that are because someone else did something incredibly stupid.
Yeah, I suppose. And that's the thing too, you know, I actually, the night that it happened, man, you bring this up, I felt bad. I was like, oh man, this really upset this guy. You know, tensions were really high. He was yelling. He was like, you know, making passive aggressive snipes constantly, you know. It was like, you know, and when he said, oh, well, what am I going to do? I was like, well, you can introduce a new character or you can, you know, go to bed or whatever. It's all cool, man. You know, like, he was offended. I was like,
well, at the end of the day, you took a gamble and you lost.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, you forced me to run into Malay by putting it there. I was like, I didn't force you to do anything. Like, I was shocked by the approach of how everyone handled this. This is not what I expected. But like, the thing was, I felt bad about it at first. You know, I was like, oh man, I don't want that my friends to have bad memories. I don't get to see these guys very much anymore. So maybe once every few years, you know. It's like, felt sad. And I've done game design and stuff now, so I know what I'm doing.
Right.
So I know it's balanced. I know it's fair. And, but I was never like a DM, you know what I mean? But I thought I'd give it a go. And, you know, I've done it a couple of times before for my little brother and stuff. So I thought I'd done a good job. But the next day, I sort of woke up because it was late. You know, I woke up the next day and, you know, got my wife oiling me up as she does, you know, as like one of the Harkonnens. And I think, like, it wasn't even a total party wipe. It was just one guy died, you know? Like,
right.
It was just one guy died. And, you know, complaining that it was too hard or whatever or unfair. They're ambush predators. I did what it says they did in the monstrous manual. You know, he had unlucky rolls. A few of the players had unlucky rolls, so the combat encounter was a little bit harder than it needed to be. But that was through bad rolls, not through anything I did, you know. So I'm now guilt-free, you know. I'm guilt-free.
It's like, I didn't tell you to do this reckless thing.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the guy got entangled by these things, and instead of trying to break free, he just kept attacking them with reckless attack. He didn't even try and get free. So it's like, and the cleric in the party, man, this is something that I thought was a horrendous game design issue. And tell me if you've encountered it too. You might have more experience than me, but I have this thing where I said, all right, if anyone gets dropped to 0 hit points, when you get brought back, you've got 1 level of exhaustion as per D&D 1. So, like, essentially, it's just -1 to all rolls, and it's stacked. So if you've been knocked down 30 times and you wait and you're being revived, then you're at -30, you know, until you rest, and each time rests it off. And it's like, it just makes combat a bit more realistic, tries to keep people's hit points up. Well, I started to get complaints from people because they were like, "Hey, there's no combat healing in D&D until high levels," and I thought, "What are you on about?" And they said, "Well, because the enemies can do so much damage, the cleric was refusing to heal the barbarian to keep him alive."
What is so?
Yeah, because it was more effective to heal someone when they're on 0 hit points than it is to heal them while they're still standing. There's no point to that. And I just sort of stared at it and thought, like,
Healing word.
Yeah, but
healing
they're saying,
word. Hit bonus action. Healing word. He's fine.
Yeah, but they're saying that it's pointless to healing word so long as he has hit points, because they should healing word only when he's on 0 hit points. The cleric player, who's like a hardcore D&D player, way more hardcore than me, right?
That is the stupidest logic I've ever heard from any D&D player.
Yeah, I'm not going to heal people unless they're on 0 hit points. I just sort of thought, what? Like, they said because it makes no difference whether someone's on 1 hit point or on 30 if the monsters are one hitting them. And I'm like, I suppose
the lower your hit points are, the lower your hit points are, the lower your chances of surviving the next hit are. If healing word can keep you up for another round while the other party can get their hits in and finish off the monster, you take that risk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was pretty shameful, and they explained, well, the weapon damage is more than the healing word does, and all this other stuff, so it's more likely to be hit and drop, so it's a waste of resources, it's not economical and all this stuff. And I just thought, imagine this in the actual role-playing game scenario. You've got this guy who's your healer, and he's like, I won't save you unless you're dying. Like, you got people stabbing you with fucking swords and shit, and you're like, cleric, medic, Yeah, and he's like, no, only when you die. Only when you die, Frank. Only when you die.
But he's our strongest fighter. We need to keep him up. Mm-hmm. That'd be like if a ranger had healing spirit and he never bothered to use it.
Exactly, yeah. Or he used it, but he only floated the spirit onto someone when they were unconscious, and then floated it back to somewhere else. It's so, yeah. I don't know. But they got no reason to complain. They got a Twilight cleric in the game, and I think that thing is very, very unfair. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Twilight cleric, but it's
not quite.
It's channel divinity, man. Allows him to heal, allows him to give a living target on their turn, 1d8 or 1d10 or something retarded like that, or 5 plus the level or something, I can't remember. Temporary hit points every single turn. So it's like a force field. Yeah, and it's on their turn. So every player that's within 60 feet of him gets instantly, 8 hit points. Between 5 to 9 hit points.
That is sick.
And that's what I've seen. And it's basically like the heroism spell. They all have the heroism spell going.
Right.
And I thought, wow, that's really, really strong. Especially for low level, where these mooks are coming in, they stab you, they do 3 to 4 damage. 4 to 7, I suppose, is the most they can do. The healing, he doesn't even need to heal because his Twilight Aura is just eats it, and it's an unlimited resource so long as it lasts for I think it's a minute or more. But really, really powerful. I thought, wow, it's better than any healing magic, because so long as they've got 1 hit point, they can just stave off an attack, But yeah, I'm done with my rant. I'm gonna get out of here. I've nerdied up the show for enough.
Well, thanks for showing up, Liam.
Yeah,
Lorenzo's back.
Yeah, I've been back, but it's you kind of decided to stay in the background so you guys could talk.
Hockey's
you guys know a lot more about
America,
stuff than I do.
Hockey's going to America. Hockey's going to America, and I'm going to hide in his luggage. That's the Americans need to watch out. I'm gonna hide in Hockey's luggage and smug me over like a little koala guy I am. All right, ladies and gentlemen, safe journeys. Much love, Hockey. I hope you're doing well. Stay in touch, brother. I'm gonna go back to being a viewer.
Awesome. Well, thanks.
Hey, thanks for the talk.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I not the part where I kept getting disconnected, but it was glad you guys were able to talk about this. I'm gonna have to rewatch this because
you're gonna have to rewatch it.
Yeah, that's why a big part of the reason I host the show is I learn a ton from panelists and the audience members. And I'm trying to make it a little kind of blur the distinctions too. Lately trying to make it more participatory for people in the chat, but it can be hard because once there's a lot of people in here, then it's really hard for
it's a madhouse.
Chat. Huh?
It's a madhouse.
Yeah, but it's good. I like having an active chat, and I'm not sure, folks. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't like the idea of turning on slow mode and slowing down the conversation. I don't. Maybe some people want that. I don't know, but that's. I could leave that up to the audience what they prefer. Oh, and here's Felix dropping a link again.
Oh boy. Did he cut out again? I think he cut out again. So yeah, for those of you who favor the barbarian class, make use of your party members. Make sure to make full use of your party members. Clerics, your job is to keep the squad alive. Mages, support. Martial classes, smack things. Rogues, check for traps. I just never heard of anything like that. Like, why would you not use the healing spells in battle if you got them when you need them? I know certain spell casting classes are situational. Like, you don't want to use certain spells recklessly because you might not know when you need them. Yeah, it looks like he's gone again. Let's see. Hockey bards are the best. Maybe I would have to work with the bard. I would have to work with the bards again. There's stuff in there I guess I don't really understand. For one thing, I'm not a huge fan of the whole jack of all trades, master of none bit, but hey, if that's what you like, that's what you like. All right, so I'll just wait for Lorenzo to come back for a few minutes. If he ever does, then I'm really going to have to cut up out of here. But we'll see what happens with him in a bit. And hang on, let me put my socials up in the chat so y'all know where to find me to, because once I'm done with this picture, I'm gonna post it. So I gotta get my socials out there so y'all know. Almost everyone I knew wanted to be a monk because they don't wear armor and their fists are their weapons. Okay, so I get it. The whole wisdom, I get it. Dex, add the dex and the wisdom. You get a higher armor class off the bat than just about every other person, every other class in a group. The thing with monks is the Chromes and Dukes not want to connect to the internet even with a hotspot and a mobile data. Wow. But yeah, as I was saying with monks, and if I start doing streams again, I'll probably get to talk about. I'll probably start doing this on my channel. Maybe I'll put a build together of certain groups of like certain concepts and see how they work, see what works, see what don't work, that kind of thing. We'll have to see about that. But as far as with monks, uncharmable once a monk is at a certain level too. Yeah, true. I gotta see how hot. I gotta see how long it takes for them to get to that point, because I know with the monks, you could get once they get to like really high levels, they can do a lot of things. Like they don't age, they don't need to eat nothing, they don't really need to sleep, they don't age. They'll understand like every language that's out there. They get proficiencies in every saving throw in that game, which is nice. And over time, the damage output on all their monk weapons, including fists, that goes up to as far as a D10, if I remember correctly. So they do have some good things going for them. I will give them that. But you got, even with that, you gotta at the early stages, and that depends on what your stats look like from the go too. But it's, how do I say this? It could be, if you're not careful, it could be you could get curve stomped really quickly. Okay, this amp goes up to 11. But yeah, if you're not careful as a monk, some of the monsters, some of the enemies early in the game, they can give you a good stomping even with your high AC. They're still a little frail on the HP. They're about around the same as they're about the same. They have like the same amount of hit points as a rogue, I believe. They're not as frail as sorcerers or wizards, but the HP could be a problem. And even in the beginning, you might want to use your monk weapons like the short sword, or maybe you got a quarter, or maybe you picked up a quarterstaff, which you can use with your dex modifier, which is pretty nice. Study. Study. Yeah, you're probably you're probably right about that. I mean, you're probably right because with one character I had once, it had a bolt ranger combination. So what I would do is a lot of times what I would do is use my bonus. If I was close to an enemy, I would use my bonus action to use an unarmed attack. Hit him with the stunning strike, back up, and then use my bow attacks to hit him. So that could be pretty nice. Assuming the target doesn't get lucky and pass its save, which isn't often.
Folks should check out Shinobi's channel. What is it? It's the Head Ninja now.
Yes,
it's the head Ninja.
So yeah, I just put that up there because after I'm done with this picture, I'm going to upload it. So if people want to see the finished, see what it looks like finished, they can go to those pages and see. And he cut out again. I think. Here's how. He mute. No. Oh man. There you are.
Sound like you roboted a little.
Your muting is cutting in and out.
Am I roboting?
Your mute, like when I'm looking at your screen right now, but it's your mute button. It's mute. Your end of the stream is muting itself, or it looks like it's muting itself. See what we got here. Hello, Bone. You're not the Bone from the comic, are you? Okay, he'll be right back. I hope. He better be, because if he doesn't, this stream's gonna be going on all night. I won't be, but this stream will be running all night.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
This is so weird. I don't know why both my phone and my Chromebook are acting up when it comes to the internet. It's really weird. I've been using like two different internets. I'm using my wireless and then I'm using Wi-Fi, and I'm using cellular, and they're from two different companies, and they're both I'm having issues with both, and both on my phone and my Chromebook been having issues lately. So I have no idea what's been going on.
Wow. Kakashi murder dolls. What? Okay. I'm still here, but he's still having issues. Frankly, if I were him, I'd end this and try another day, or try another week, I guess. But that's him. Oh man. Yeah, he keeps. Yeah, he's got. Yeah, his Wi-Fi has some serious issues. Yeah, unfortunately, until he comes back, he can't quit the show. Let me see. Oh, that's not it. That's definitely not it. Come on. Found it. Jeez. I gotta go for real this time, but again, you'll see this finished piece on Instagram and Twitter. The avatar reminds me of April O'Neil. It looks more like her than. Okay, yeah, like, to be honest, okay, it probably does, but to be honest, I don't really care about. To be honest, I don't really care about the race swaps. Um, the way I look at it is, as long as you get the essence, of the character, or if the race, you probably heard this before, but as long as the race of as long as the race of the character doesn't have a direct effect on the character, it's 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 just a, well, why'd you do that for kind of thing. It's not a he made her dumpty. Okay, that is a very fair assessment. I don't really. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not like that character. I'm gonna be honest. I did not like that character design, but I didn't like the character design because it doesn't really scream April. Like, I don't know if you see the 2012, but the 2012 TMNT, but they have a Irma there, and with what they gave the look for April, I think Borg is gone. But yeah, as long as it's, but yeah, for it, there was a character by the name of Irma. So and that these with what they did with what they passed off as April, that to me is an that to me would be an Irma. They could have had that character be Irma and maybe bringing April for the next movie, like they did with the comics. It was the Turtles and the Shredder first. It was the Turtles and the Shredder. It was the Turtles first and the Shredder before they killed him. And in the second issue, they brought April in. They could have done that. But race swaps in general, they don't really bother me all that. They don't really bother me all that much as long as it's something that's not going to affect the characterization. Like the only time I would have a problem with a race swap would be something like a Magneto or a Black Panther or a Red Skull. In the case of Red Skull, he's German. He's German. He's in World War II German. He's pretty much let's face it, he's that word that YouTube don't like people saying. That's him. That affects him. Magneto, he's a Holocaust survivor, so a black Magneto ain't gonna work. I also wouldn't want a black. I also wouldn't really want Oroku Saki to be black. That's an issue. That would be an issue because him and Yoshi, they're from a ninja clan in Japan, so they gotta be Japanese. Also, a black Oda Nobunaga wouldn't work. So yeah. But yeah, in any case, I'm glad y'all digging. In any case, I'm glad y'all digging the piece. I'm gonna get up on that out of here. If you're going to Instagram and Twitter, it's the head ninja for both of them. You gotta say you gotta do it all in one word, or it's not gonna work. So that's where you find me. So I'm gonna be up out of here. Have a very good day.
Well, hey, folks, I don't know if anybody can hear me. I keep getting connected and disconnected and whatnot. Let's see. The Dinglidons are some of the best heart-kicking fun going on Twitter for me lately. You guys felt so real. Are those those guys who dress up like lumberjacks they're from British Columbia and they're buddies with those Mounties, or at least one of them. Yeah, that was pretty wild. Not quite sure what's going on there, but hail, Pan. Good to see you. Pan says, we always find the biggest fake tough guy. Well, I can't say that word on air. To emasculate and expose. It's a gift we have. From comic books to freedom to Fed Wars, we've done it all. And by the way, I'd like to thank Shinobi, Raccoon, aka the Head Ninja, aka the Shinobi one. Not to be confused with that Shinobi Sasquatch guy. That's a totally different Shinobi. But yeah, I don't know how much longer I can keep going because I just keep getting disconnected. I'm gonna have to try to get this checked on tomorrow. I got some company in town though coming up, so I don't know. This is crazy because I got two different ISPs acting up on me. Both the mobile data on my cell phone wasn't working very well. Streaming with that for a while, and then my Wi-Fi, and it's both on my phone and on my Chromebook. So maybe Liam is right about like routers could get hacked or whatever. I don't know. He apparently had some sort of issues before. I'm not making any allegations against anyone. I don't. There's plenty of other explanations as well. I think that's kind of a remote possibility. I think I don't know. I'm using a potato laptop. I'm using an out of date phone, and then it's been kind of rainy lately, so it could be a combination of things too. Yeah, I'm back. Yes, the lumberjack. Yeah. Yeah, one of those guys just for no reason at all tagged me in a conversation, and I'm like, and I just put that lumberjack song from Monty Python. I just put a YouTube clip of that, and just tweeted that out towards him, and he blocked me. It's like, well, why did the guy tag me in the first place only to block me? I don't even really know much about Canadian politics. I just know that this one group has their one of the guys they rally around with, and it admits to talking to was a Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Mounties. Like, what the fuck? What would it be like here in the U.S.? Like, it'd be like somebody like admits to just informing on people, the FBI, and it sounds like it was like, what was it? Just some, from what I heard, yeah, I don't know the full story, but it sounds like it was just some hunters that he informed on, and then the guy, the Mackenzie guy, didn't even admit that those people weren't any danger. I don't know. It's all so weird. I recommend folks check that out on I guess he'll be seeing me retweeting quite a bit of the stuff, but the war campaign's been covering it, Canadian politics on their channel. I recommend people check out their channel. Yeah, I mean that. Somebody with a WC next to their name, So it's you can't. It's yeah, the lumberjacks. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what's going on with my internet connection. As I was saying, I don't know what's going on in general with the internet these days. I find a lot of things entertaining, but including these technical issues. I'd like to thank everybody who showed up. And hey, Master Geass, it's good to see you. Came up with a new lizard OC today. Well, that's awesome. The more lizard representation, the better. Let's see, what is bring someone on from when you drop off. Yeah, I might wrap up the stream pretty soon, eh? I've got to meet up with some relatives tomorrow anyway, but Everyone did great handling things. Fun chaos. Yeah, that's the key. Like, I'm really enjoying myself these days. Probably gonna lose internet connection pretty soon, but it was great. Appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate everybody who's gone on stream. Did War Campaign ever respond to Max pleads for friends on water? I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, you lost me for a bit. Yeah, it just keeps happening. I really enjoy streaming, even though it's just once a week. Takes quite a bit of energy for me to stream these days. For some reason, I used to be able to do host several streams a week and go on people's channels and stuff. It takes a lot of energy out of me. But on the other hand, probably all the chaos. On the other hand, I just really enjoy hosting the stream, interacting with all you, whether you're in the chat, the panel, or leaving comments on the videos, and even a lot of people, probably most people, don't even comment or show up in the chat at all, and that's okay too. If somebody watches the show and they are lurking, so to speak, or they watch the replay but they don't comment, that's okay too. That's still another view, and I appreciate that. It's good to see you. I have a hard time pronouncing your name. Do you have a wrench? If not, I should give you one. But anyway, I'm your host, Lorenzo Sleestak. You can find me here every Thursday night, almost every Thursday night. Occasionally take breaks at 5 Pacific, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. And that's actually 8 a.m., I believe, over in the Philippines. We actually get quite a few viewers from the Philippines, and I appreciate our audience. I believe Manny, who I haven't seen him around a long time, he's one of the early people. I think the very first stream I went on, he would say, wherever you are, whenever you are. And I think that's a fun saying. Lion says, always a pleasure, Lorenzo. Jax says, thanks for Jack Stafford says, thanks for the show. Sorry for the tech issues. Well, it's not your fault. At least I hope it's not. No, there's no way it's your fault. It was just teasing, and it's all the yo-yoing you are doing must wear you out. Yeah, I don't know. There's some yo-yo champions out there. What was that company? The Duncan Yo-Yo? But yeah, I'm just teasing you. You're speaking metaphorically about yo-yoing. But yeah, I'd like to thank everybody. And from comic books to freedom to Fad Wars, we've done it all. Panboy says, speaking of the war campaign. And anyway, everybody have a great night. Hopefully, next time around, I'll be a little more with it, and the internet will be working better. Feeling kind of under the weather, so to speak, today, but I decided to stream anyways. Take care, everybody. Have an excellent night. Well, folks, this is kind of like the part where you got the credits rolling after the credits of the movie. Somebody ends up saying something, there's some sort of Easter egg at the end. I'm just this damn screen. I can't even it's just this 12 I think it's only like a 12 or 13-inch screen on a Chromebook. And the way StreamYard redid things, I can't even find the fucking off button, the end stream button. So this is kind of nuts. If you see me in here again, that's what's going on.